compliance with the request, or his proposal it is, and he's provided us the information that we needed, so unless Bobby has any other concerns, I feel pretty good about moving forward.
Mayor, if there's no further questions or concerns, I'd like to do a slow move.
There's a motion by Councilman Leal, there's a second by Councilwoman Rodriguez. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Montes.
Yes, thank you all.
Okay, moving on to, item F, discuss and consider the waiving of all fees associated with the rental of the Victor Trevino Sports Complex for the PHS Class of 2022 softball tournament to be held on October 24th, which is 19 days after National Night Out. This is an action item. Turning it over to the city manager.
Oh, I'm trying to think, I can't figure out who the other signature was on this.
Lionel.
It's mine.
Lionel, Tiffany, and there's another signature.
Mine.
It's what you're saying. I'm sorry.
It's probably mine if you can read it.
Sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna read off of this, the consideration here. It says that they're asking for waiving, they're hosting a 12U to 14U softball tournament. Again, to raise funds for the class 2022, the parent club is requesting that City of Pearsall Council consider waiving all fees of field usage, lights, and concessions.
Mayor, if there's no other question, I would like to go ahead and make a motion to approve this. For the record, these kids have lived in a pandemic, and I know that we said before that we would like these people to pay for lights to utilize and we can put back into our community. But these children are barely getting back to school. Their funds were taken away from them last year because they were not able to host any fundraisers for their seniors. So with that, I would like to motion to go ahead and approve that.
Any motion on the floor by Councilwoman Rodriguez. Do I have a second? I have a second by Councilwoman Hernandez. Any questions?
Question.
One question by Councilman.
Mr. Reyes, do you have an idea how much this actually is, what's the dollar amount that the city is contributing to this?
In kind, as far as lights and all that.
In-kind.
You know what, I don't have that number, sir. Where is, Ram is not here. No, I don't. I don't have it. I can get that for you, but I don't have it.
I think with them, they only use the lights for about an hour because it's a morning tournament.
I don't have a problem with anything, it's just that, you know, we need to all understand that it has to be paid from somewhere. And so this is taxpayer money, and we don't mind doing it, but we do need to disclose those amounts.
Yes, I understand. I will get that information. I don't have it.
All right, thank you. No other questions? All right, there is a motion, a second on the floor. I call for a vote.
Aye.
All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item number G, discuss and consider resolution number 20210901, approving the service provider agreement between the Frio County Emergency Service District Number 1 and the City of Pearsall for the provisions of the emergency protection and other services. I'm gonna turn this over to City Manager Rick.
Yes, Mayor and Council, we've circulated this agreement with our city attorney, also the fire department. I think this agreement that we've signed already for some time. So nonetheless, it's for your consideration. I believe the payment this year that was allowed for the budget was $117,000. But nonetheless, if you have any questions, Phil Flossie was here, and he probably knows this a little bit better than I do, or better than I do, so I don't have anything else.
Is this for the fire department and the EMS?
Our service, our emergency.
fire department.
It's just fire.
But that's gonna be for that truck that they were requesting.
No, this is a different item. This is just, this is an actual agreement with the ESD that we have.
Oh, the ESD, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I see this.
Lacio, I know, Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Lacio, I know a few years ago we were having issues with, as far as the percentage wise. Remember whenever we were having the fluctuation where some cities were getting more than we
Oh,
were?
Dilly, Bigfoot.
We carried most of the population. I don't recall, but did we ever get that fixed? Are we getting,
In a way we did, because we took less, property,
less
but
land?
we're still collecting the same amount that everybody else is. So,
So,
Because we were covering more.
No, we're covering less.
But now we're covering less, right? At the time, we were covering more.
Are you saying we're covering less as far as area or
Right.
population wise?
Well, probably both. I mean, I know for sure area.
Yeah, area. 'Cause I was just wondering because I'm pretty sure that if we're covering more population as far as tax base, and if we're putting more into it, then we should probably get more in return.
Well, that's,
That's something
that's
between Bobby and the
CSD.
attorneys?
yeah, that's CSD's deal. They want everything even, so.
And if I can make a statement, I had the pleasure of attending the last two ESD meetings, and very interesting. I mean, y'all's tax dollars, the percentage of that goes to fund this, which is roughly about $600,000 a year, and it's split between the three areas: Dilly, Pearsall, Dilly, Pearsall, Moore, and Bigfoot. And I happened to look back through some of the data, and it was interesting that the numbers of calls were relatively close. They weren't exact, but Pearsall's like at 160 for the year. Forget, I may not be right, but Moore's at about, because of the freeway, they do quite a lot. I think they were at 200, and so anyway, I know it may not be exactly equitable, but they are, each area is busy. So, I don't know if that answers your question.
Bobby, what do you got to say?
Well, Placido has been making this argument for years. And the city has been making this argument for years. But the mayor's point is important because the commissioners appoint the members of the board of the ESD. So what they tend to do, and what they have done since the time that you mentioned in years previously, is they tend to just take the pot, divide it into four, consistent with precincts. Not necessarily because coverage area is always going to be different, and they just divide it in four ways. They've been doing that for a long time. They've tried to make adjustments based on area, but population-wise, Pearsall is always going to wind up covering the most number of people, regardless of area, because this is where all the people in the county are
So
concentrated.
in other words, we got to get with the commissioners.
They're the ones who appoint, so essentially, yes, the board members are more likely to respond to the appointing body as opposed to the governing bodies.
Then I guess we know what we need to do.
The ESD itself is its own entity, so,
Yeah,
I mean, once they're appointed, they do what they.
what they want.
And-
But if the commissioners have the power to appoint,
Yes.
Right.
they could
So
always.
yes, the ESD is
We're working.
created after an election and by statute, but then the appointments are made by commissioners, and moving forward, they consistently, they are made by the commissioners.
But
But
always say,
yes,
if
they
we're
have,
covering more, we need to get paid more, we gotta get more money because we're covering more.
I mean, and to me, it just makes more sense if our tax base is greater than all the tax bases around, and the tax base should be getting more based on population and tax base. Just my thought. Now, I could be wrong, I could be viewing it in my perspective compared to how they view it in theirs, but,
and I think you hit the nail on the head, because that's been the discussion that's been taking place for years. Tax base, population versus area. But that has been a discussion that's been years in the making. But what winds up happening is the board decides this, and they're well aware of the concerns that have been raised in the past by not only the fire department, but the city.
Placido, who are the board members? The ESD.
It's,
Linda is one of them, Linda Parsons.
Uh-oh.
She just got on. That's why I
Okay,
said,
good, good, well,
that's why I said we're working on it. So,
is that why you were trying to throw something at me?
so there's Chico Hines that just got on in Dilly,
Okay.
and then,
Okay.
it's Royce.
yeah, Mr. Royce Starnes from Dilly, and Mr. Luna is the Luciano Luna is the president, and there's one more out of
So are they all?
So 2 people from Pearsall.
Mr. Myers, Moore.
So 2 people from Pearsall.
3.
3?
Mr. Aguilar,
2.
Two.
Yes, Mr. Hernandez.
Mr. Aguilar, earlier you said that the problem had been somewhat fixed because you cover less area. Is that true or not true?
No, we do cover lesser.
Okay. And so your call volume, is it more than everybody else's?
The thing is that, like, Bigfoot and more have been going out to a lot of, EMS calls, so we're about even. But they're, you know, to me, you know, they're like,
So it's like y'all are just helping each other out. It hasn't been divided yet.
I mean, we take care of our area, I mean, you know, we still make our calls, you know,
They just like having fun going to EMS calls.
right.
And council, I'm happy to go, if one of you, or a couple of you guys would like to attend the next meeting, I'm happy to go with you, and we can sure talk to the board, so, you have to do that, but if there's
Well,
any
if
other
there's no
questions.
if there's no other questions, I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and consider resolution number 2021-0901, approving the service provider agreement between Frio County Emergency Services District Number 1 and the City of Pearsall for the provision of emergency and protection and other services.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilwoman Rodriguez. We have a motion, do I have a second by Councilwoman Hernandez? Are there any other questions?
Can I say one more thing?
You may.
We did get an extra 115,000 from them this year, so we bought our brush truck, so that's one thing that we did.
That's nice.
Did that change anything?
No.
Motion and second stands. All right, now I'm gonna call for a vote.
Aye.
All in favor? Everybody, motion passes unanimous. Thank you, Pearsall Volunteer Fire Department. Thank you, Ms. Parsons, for serving in that capacity. Also, item 8, we have an update of the City of Pearsall Hispanic Heritage Festival. All right, Mr. Martinez, you are up.
Don't need an introduction.
No,
No,
just,
He's
if
got
anybody
it.
has any, questions, I mean, it's just basically an update, letting y'all know that we're about 96%, ready to go. Just a couple of little tiny loose ends that I gotta, get done, but other than that, we're pretty much ready to go. Everything seems to be, up to par, it's looking like it's gonna be a very successful event. Anybody got any questions?
The dates again,
October the 9th and the 10th.
Okay, Councilwoman Rodriguez.
I rounded up to a couple of council members that I was able to see and talk with. I was getting ready for work, watching the Spectrum News. Seemed pretty interesting. Well, they were talking about the state fair, and, the state fair was canceled 2 years in a row.
Correct.
So the state fair is actually a really big, $1 million fair. So they weren't able to cancel it, just like what we would not be able to cancel this festival because the monies were already ready to go. We did prolong it almost a year and a half,
Correct.
because we all assumed that we would be healthy and back to normal, but reality is, it's still a pandemic, but people still need to live their lives.
Correct.
So with that being said, as I was watching the state fair, is that they were having, the vaccination, booth at the fair and giving an incentive at the fair, by the fair. And they were giving out a little voucher. If they get the shot, they can use the voucher at the fair.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was just curious if we would be able to utilize the vaccination booth, because Frio County is now paying for people to get the shot.
Correct.
We're not telling people they have to get the shot to get in, we're not checking vaccination records, but just to give people opportunity and give the knowledge out there, whether they wanna take it or not, that we're actually providing it there for them to take advantage of. If they choose not to, that's fine, but if they're wanting to do it, they're able to do it there. I just thought that was pretty interesting, and there's a lot of other, what do they call, festivals that are going on, that they're putting these booths, this information booths out there, and especially that Frio County is going out with this, their numbers have gone up 245 since they have,
Right,
since they have initiated the $100 giveaway.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if there's any monies that are available, Federico, for this, to give like so many vouchers out, that do not go and coincide with the Frio County giveaway, but they're able to use that and go get their second shot and go collect what they need to collect at the county, but also able to collect here from the COVID funds.
There are, again, council, there are ARP dollars that can be used for these types of things. Again, I would just need to come to some sort of a protocol format, how we're gonna do this type of thing, if we choose to do it, so. But yeah, to offer some money, to say, hey, we're gonna offer vouchers and whatever, again, I don't know what the vouchers.
I think the county fair was $20. So, it was just something, or just to offer the vaccination there, or for people to get information on this, this horrible virus that is out there. Just because, you know, we all want our lives to go forward, and we want to, you know, live a normal life, but we also have to, get out information to the people.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilwoman Hernandez?
Yes, I was gonna ask, how does the, hotel, look? Have they been,
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think it was, Tuesday of last week, the updated report that I got was that 3 of the hotels, I didn't bring it with me, but 3 of the hotels for that weekend are officially fully booked.
Oh, that's
I had,
awesome.
one of the hotels that reached out from Dilly and asked if there's anything I can do to kind of send them their way, but, I don't know how this is gonna sound to you all, but I prefer them this, for our hotels first
We
before
have a lot of them
we
here.
start sending them out to Dilly, Catula, and stuff like that. Yeah, our, the marketing plan that we've used, that I've been using, has, I think as of last night, had already hit a little over 17,000 people that had already been reached. 80% of that is usually what gets attended, so you're looking at about 12,000 weekend attendees, if it all goes well.
That's nice to hear.
Councilman Hernandez?
The question I have is, all staff will be your staff, not city staff?
Yes, sir. Motor Mouth Entertainment provides, it'll be my staff, yes.
So we're not gonna have anybody on call or anything like that?
Any staff that go out there, and there'll be, there's some staff, well, I'll give you an example, cleanup, they will not be on city time. I think Motormouth, that'll be something that he contracts with them, we will not be paying overtime having our staff out there during work, as far as working hours. And we will verify and all that information.
And as far as the COVID shots, I think we'd be overlapping with the county's program. So I would recommend that we may, just wait on that and see how the county
Do
program.
you think we should just have a
Those-
booth out there? with
Well,
Because it's a city event.
informational, booth wouldn't hurt, would help. But,
Have you talked to any of the commissioners, Federico,
Uh,
about this?
I spoke to Commissioner Asuncion briefly, but we didn't discuss any plans. I know that South Texas Rural Health has a mobile unit, and I know that the hospital is also set up. I don't think they have a mobile unit, but they have a little, I guess, a
Yeah, I
tent.
think they set up at the school.
So if we can offer that and ask if they're willing to go out there, that'd be a council, if you guys want us to do that, we could do that. If Motormouth, as far
Because
as
that's
the
not a cost
room.
to us. They will go up and show up. They just need the invitation.
Yes, and yes and no. The only thing is that once you get into that being that we're 2 weeks away, promoting that information is not a problem. Getting the correct people out there that will administer all that. I think it's a little bit too much to kind of wing for this year or whatever, but, I mean, if you're asking me to try, I mean, I'll get on it right away. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I actually think it's a very good idea. The only difference is that when you're comparing 350,000 people for the state fair versus 8 to 10 or 12, there's a big difference. Plus, they budgeted for that.
Yeah,
Ahead of
it's no cost to nobody.
No, it's no
just
cost,
that
yes.
they're gonna, like, they show up at the school, any kids that sign a form that their parents are letting them get the shot. These people are willing to go anywhere as long as they get invited.
Yes.
So,
Correct.
if people wanna do it, they'll do it. If they don't wanna do it, they don't do it. But as a city event, we're still in a pandemic. We're also offering the services to people and trying to put their safety first. You
Yes.
know, we still wanna go out, have fun, have a good time, but this is a city event.
Right.
So we wanna be able to provide the services, meaning if they're just giving out information or setting up appointments, not that everybody's gonna do it, but if it's 10, that's 10 that are,
I agree. Now, the only thing we'd have to maybe consider is that something that I would need to take care of as the coordinator, or is that something the city? Okay, because
We'll take-
I don't know
Yeah.
if, in all honesty, I don't know if I can actually
yeah.
add that much more to what we're doing.
I think the
Mr.
logistics, we just have to get the logistics.
Mr. Reyes, last time I spoke to Commissioner Asuncion, he was going to get together with you on possibly bringing South Texas Rural Health.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I think it's just asked. I think it's really, is we
They
ask
just want the
them,
invitation.
they'll go do it, and then the logistics, get on Motormouth, where we put this mobile unit or.
We'll find a place for them. If it's something like that, I'll find a place for them.
Okay, council, this is a non-action item, just an update, so anything else?
Yeah, thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank y'all.
Mr. Martinez,
Thank you, and I hope to see
We'll be
y'all
there.
out there
Yeah.
on that weekend.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to item I, discuss changes to the city of Pearsall proposed annual appropriations budget for the fiscal year beginning October first, 2021, ending September 30th, 2022. Mr. Reyes, you have the floor.
Mayor and council, on this, you do have a small packet, and I know we took out a lot of the fluff, but you do have in your, we gave you just some of the things what you need as far as to review. Change, a small change on our end, one thing that we caught, actually our parks manager caught was, one of the line